Hello. Try that again without mute on.
I was like, wait, I don't hear anything here. Oh, okay.
No, what's wrong? Yeah. Hello. Welcome back to Actual Play, the Twilight Throne and the Houses of Ruin. We have just started making our characters, and we have chosen our houses and some of our special abilities, and I think we're going to finish up character creation now. Lead the way, right?
Yeah. Okay. So with character creation, basically what happens is this is very briefly like the path that you took to power, right? And then you get like abilities and the dots for the different actions you have start to fill up based on the choices you make. One of the most important things that come up is that you get to choose your vassals. So this is what replaces rivals and friends in traditional Forge in the Dark, except your vassals are your vassals, right? So they are the ones who seek out to fulfill your will. They're very important chess pieces, right? In order for you to like gain a better position at the start of a scheme or to grant you extra actions during the downtime phase, which we call the interlude here. So but yeah, okay. So basically the first thing that we do, so there's a character creation tab, and then we're just gonna scroll all the way to the right to the end of it, right? So basically, and then if you scroll down, you can see the different choices, right? So, but I'll go over each one, right? And so first one we start with is your demeanor. This is basically what you look like, and you get to choose like just like 1 to 3, right? Aspects of describing what your demeanor is like, and they're based off of like what your house is from, right? So if you're from Blood and Bone, for example, then you get to choose from a blackened heart hung from the glass within a fragile rib cage, or maybe you're a porcelain skeleton cracked and delicate, like different, just to really sell like the really surreal vibes of the game. Like things that have happened in playtests is we introduce an NPC and the GM Leandra was like, wait, do they have a face? Like when I describe their expressions, do they have a face? So this can happen in our game on Twilight Throne. So you get to choose a few of those. And yeah, how about I give everyone a few minutes to just go over, and you can make up stuff, right? This is all just meant to inspire you and stuff. Oh, I should say where you paste it to. So you can place it in the characters tab.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's fine. You can just copy and paste it. That's okay. Right. Unfortunately, I have several copies of this character keeper, which is part of the problem.
I get around that.
I'm glad that we are not.
Yeah, I label one of them prime so that I know, this is the one I start with.
I know. Oh my gosh, I almost deleted the tabs from the prime one and I almost died. I was like, Ray. This is why we don't work after 10 p.m. But anyway. But yeah, so yeah. Ooh. I love seeing the characters come together in the character keeper. Very cool.
Synth Master says, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Yeah. Control Z is even more exciting when there's like 4 people working in something.
Right?
It can and then you're really like, wait,
confusing.
What did I do?
Who did I just undo? What? Oh no.
Oh, but yeah, you could also place the house. Nice. I'll go ahead and hide our last one. Let's see.
Can I paste a Pinterest ref in?
Of course. That's what the image URL is for, my love.
Oh my god, I gotta find something. Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you need the Pinterest link again, or?
No, I have it open. I also have my own. Okay. I'm also choosing from my God Killer board because it feels relevant.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely relevant. Yes.
Yeah, I'm opening Pinterest. No, yeah, there we go. Findings on Pinterest may change demeanor attributes. It's possible. It's possible
I
that
know. 100%. Like what your character looks like is such an important part of any.
It is.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's like I have to be the hottest bitch in this Macy's, or what's
I
the
know.
I love it.
Are we sure we're not going to get the really hot butch lesbian? Like,
Listen, I'm
Hey, look, this is not precluded.
I promise I will make several hot butch lesbians in the Sword and Halo clan.
Thank
Just for
you.
right. Like we
Right.
shouldn't have
Thank
any
you.
shortage in that on that front. Man, it's funny because I'm really sort of torn between this very delicate, effeminate beauty and this really monstrous thing, and I feel like I'm just gonna say both, and
I was
like
going to
we'll
say, I was
sort
going to
that
go, why
out.
not both?
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna say like, yeah, this both, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So
I encourage this so much.
oh, I guess I need the actual image URL, not the Pinterest.
Ooh, yeah, but from Princess you can like right click and get the image. It should. Yeah.
Let's try this again. Oh, because ArtStation doesn't necessarily like.
Oh, let's see. It may have been my coding as well. I'm gonna double check.
No, I think it's just. I think it's just when you. Some sites are not. Whoa, sorry. Tried just if I tried just pasting the image and it went way too big. Let's try this one more time.
Yeah, I think if you go insert image in cell, it should. Wow, that's a weird sentence to say. I apologize.
I recognize that those are two separate words in.
Okay,
cell.
in pause cell. It should work. I've been playtesting a game where that comes up, and I don't want to explain myself.
I mean, very fair. You don't need to.
Ooh, I like.
Yeah, now I just need to make another line. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to make our character sheets really long because I need multiple images.
I also do, because I feel like I've got a good like face image I might want, but like not the. It doesn't have the drip. That you know what I mean? It doesn't have like the fully like.
So Instagram had a tool that lets you like combine multiple pictures into one picture,
like a collage thing.
Yeah, kind of a collage thing.
Oh, that's neat.
Which is fun.
Well, I will come back to this when I'm more sort of like not on stream and feeling more savvy about Photoshoppy things. Oh no, so we.
Or you can just you can drag it out and it'll become bigger automatically, I think.
Yeah, probably. But let me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
How do I do that? How do I add to images?
So I'll just merge everyone's like respective cells. So now, yeah. So now we just have 2 image spots, and the image URL link will not work because it's just like a cell, but
you can go insert. Let me go. Like,
yeah, if you say
select the
insert
cell.
image, oh, you got it. There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
I love that we have these like I haven't seen what Misha's done yet, but Connie, I love that like we both have like full body shots, and then we have like up close headshots.
Oh wait, actually that's Misha first. Yeah.
That is.
Oh, that's
Misha.
Misha. Sorry,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Oh my gosh, I love this vibe.
This is very strong.
It's so
Now I
good.
gotta come up with names. Names. I hate names. Why?
Oh, don't worry.
names?
That's why the name is last in character creation. So don't worry.
Do you have name lists?
Oh, I it was so hard just coming up with the house.
It's fine. No, it's just I just want to know so I can.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I promise that by the time we get there, you're probably gonna have a name in mind because, like, when you create the characters, so much of them comes to life. So, at least that's the hope. So, we shall see. Right. So, I'm just gonna briefly describe what's the next step, which I don't mind repeating at any point. So, the next step for character creation is you get to choose your claim to power. So this is how you got your power within the house, right? So you'll see there are different options, like you were taken, so you were actually once human, and then you were given the powers of a noble, right? Or creation, you were created by someone in the house. Scion, destined, murder, you could just murdered your way into power. This is, of course, an option. So basically, whatever you choose, from here you choose one of 2 abilities and you choose 1 vassal. And then you just plug that in your character sheet. I want to stress that you can like have the same as someone else. I maybe encourage you to choose a different ability in vassal, but if you're really gung-ho for the same ability, the game is going to be fine if you do that, right? So no worries. I think maybe I can. Should I read it out just so that people don't watch us reading stuff?
I think people watching us reading is like a staple of the actual play channel. So
Okay.
if we didn't spend some time reading the rule book, people would feel like we're phoning it in.
I mean, this is session 0. This is when you do these things. So
Yeah.
True.
It's expected.
Nobles understand that fatal violence is an excellent tool. I just murdered my way to power.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is actually based on one time I was at a dinner party. Because I want to stress, like, growing up, I wasn't rich, but like it was one of those things where like our family would interact with people who were actually ridiculously rich. And there was this one guy who just really casually said, yeah, I started going to this new church because I found out that if I don't make up for my past sins of killing several dozen people for the current president, my children will carry my curse. And I was just like, what? I was trying to just eat a salad, right? I was like, what is happening? And then everybody was like, yeah. How many did you kill? And then he was like, oh, about like 3 dozen. Oh, that's an okay number. Like, God will forgive that. And I was like, oh, what? And it was
3
so
dozen
casual.
is not an
so
okay
casual.
number of people to have killed.
So casual, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm very new to the business. And I was like, anyway, a lot of this game is written from my just watching rich people from the periphery.
No, we're gonna scare somebody.
Maybe I should state rich people in the Philippines. I don't want to speak for rich people everywhere, right?
I mean,
yeah, it's somewhat universal. Some things are universal.
Right. It's true. That is tea for the salad.
Yeah,
Okay, I've done
I'm just-
finally have done my image refs. I'm done.
Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries. It's very important work. So,
yeah.
ooh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
only worth the wait, Cuddy.
Listen.
Hello.
Listen.
So
Good.
good.
Very nice.
Yes. Yes.
Perfection, perfection. But yeah, Sean, do you have an idea for your claim to power?
Yes, I have several, and it's killing me. I think I'm gonna go. I'm feeling either pawn or survivor. I think pawn is in the role that like I'm just holding on to a power that's meant to be passed on, and it like can't be. That's a mistake, but I was never really meant to hold this power. But my child can't receive it, so I'm the last. You know, I'm kind of accidentally in this place of power. And survivor is just, I can imagine so many people sort of vying for position in the underworld and making it through. And I'm bouncing back and forth between those two. So I'd love to hear what other folks are feeling.
I can make a decent case for any of them is the problem.
Oh, one hundo. Yeah.
I will say, Sean, if you pick survivor, that means you get to say like what the other house was that you survived from.
That's sweet. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Does not take much to win me over.
And then so the question, right, is what happened to that other house, and like how were they also related to reincarnation and the dead, or were you forced to take on these responsibilities?
Yeah,
There?
I sort of wanted a little bit of ash and what was
Ash and
the
Flame?
ash and flame? I sort of wanted a little bit of ash and flame, so I think I will take survivor and bring them in. I think ash and flame and my house, bone and blood, both had some sort of providence over the underworld, you know, and what the and where souls would go to rest and things. And I think there was a bloody bloody war between the houses. And our house is still here, and theirs is not. Sorry, bye.
Oh, do we want to start with the House of Ash and Flame not being being destroyed already? Because
I didn't know. Are houses that we're not playing considered to be present in general?
yeah, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, they're still present, but I kind of like the idea like maybe the House in Ash and Flame is just like what survived, right? They used to be like a far more powerful house, right? And so like maybe you were given to the House of Blood and Bone as part of like a bargain to like cease the right what is going on between the two of you. What do you think?
I love that. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, like sort of like as part of negotiation, we're just going to give this family, just sacrifice them to you. But yeah, perfect. Yeah, but I should have specified. So whatever houses weren't picked, they remain in play. In fact, as part of the House of Annihilation, you're the one who gets to destroy each house or scavenge it as it's destroyed by the Clock of Ruin, right? So, which includes your own houses. So, but yeah, Misha, did you have a claim?
I decided to go with pawn.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm going to take the
Cool.
don't underestimate me ability.
Oh, I love that one. That was very good. Good stuff. Ooh, which ability do you want to pick for Survivor?
I mean, they're both really good, but like Indomitable is like, yay, I can resist a thing. Oops, I'm having the wrong view up. But I will avenge you. Like, lets me tie into my former house. So, yup. There we go.
Yeah. Nice. Very good. Connie, do you have like a claim in mind?
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna pick Scion. Um,
So good.
It's very fitting. You're really
Yes.
rolling deep in this.
Yeah.
In this glory here. You're
I
not.
am. I have a specific. I'm gonna choose perfection as my ability, and
Nice.
I have an idea for a long-term project already. I thought
Nice.
Nice.
We are power gaming from the start. I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Very
I'm min
good, very
maxing this Fortune of the Dark game.
Yes. Like, yeah, because long-term projects are like really powerful, right? So, but yeah, perfect. Okay, all right. So that is. I'll let everybody copy and paste their abilities and the vassal that you choose, and then we'll go into the next step.
Is there a place that I'm
For
below
vassals?
Oh, yep, there they are.
Yeah,
I
below.
just need to scroll.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, so in the Gauntlet community, we are always at war with each other about keeping like all the characters in one sheet or having each one, so if we have all the characters in one sheet, there's just a lot of scrolling down. I personally like having a character have their own sheet, but so many people in the Gauntlet don't. So
Yeah,
I find it varies from game to game, which I prefer.
that's also true.
I want to be able to show multiple sheets on a page. So if you are literally just playing out of one worksheet, you can't do that unless they're all there. Like if you're using a VTT or something like that where you can put up multiple pages, then you can have like two character sheets and kind of resize them. But I get it when you're just like playing out of one Google Doc that if you want to be able to see multiple things at a time, you've got to,
scroll a lot.
There's an idea. You could, I guess technically you could open multiple copies of the sheet in different tabs.
Yep. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, that's what I've
That
done.
gets complicated though.
It is.
Well, it's very easy to get them mixed up, right?
Yeah.
Like you accidentally you're like, cool, I have it, and then you do the wrong, and then you accidentally have like 3 tabs all on the exact same sheet. It's like, damn it.
True. All right. Oh, you pick Sister Midnight. I love that. Excellent.
I mean, yes. Again,
How could you not go with
like,
Sister Midnight? I mean,
how am I not going to go with Sister Midnight?
It's so funny. I also picked Survivor. I also picked I Will Avenge You, and I also picked Sister Midnight. So Sean, we are truly soulmates. I picked House of Cog and Gear though. So when I was as a player,
I mean, that was my second choice. So yeah,
Right.
We're very, very close.
See, this is why, your rising sign Capricorn makes sense to me.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next step in creating your character is you get to choose your domain. So this is your place of power, like the place you are in charge of. So this is where the most Dark Soulsy part starts to come out, right? So we have the soul market where the souls are bartered back and forth. I will also say once you choose your domain, that's when you get your first dot and your vassal. So the soul market, we have the clock tower where the battle mages are. You basically have to keep breaking time over and over again so the Kraken doesn't wake up and come back. And we also have the Shattered Library, which is full of like terrible books that should not be read. The Verdant Wall, I'm going to be very honest, it is basically the Game of Thrones wall without snow, and instead it's greenery. And you fight off nightmares instead of but it's basically the Game of Thrones wall. Okay. And then we have the Fire Dragon's Corpse. This is the one I wrote without knowing Dark Souls was a thing. So basically you have access to one of the last dragons that can still create fire. The rest have been turned to stone a long time ago. And then the City of Doors, that used to have several portals that lead into different dimensions, but most of them are gone. And then the Forest of Prayers, also very Dark Soulsy, I found out later, full of creepy dolls that have, stolen souls in them. The Veiled Churches, totally not a secret assassination group that goes through dreams. They're totally legit, not a problem at all. And then the Proving Grounds, which is where I just wanted to put in some Dragon Age Origins, so it's a good game. But yeah, so basically, it's a fighty fight domain. So yeah, I'll let people pick. Once again, you can choose the same domain, and it'd be kind of interesting how two different houses have the same domain and how that works out between you two. So totally fine to pick the same one.
These are so freaking good, right?
I know. How do we even pick?
Ah.
I kind of have. I'm like
I just want to
torn.
casually give you power.
Okay, which one are you torn between?
I am torn between the doors, the proving grounds for obvious reasons, the doors, and the wall.
Oh, it could be like different doors to different heavens, right? That were like destroyed.
Yeah.
And the wall is
Yeah.
also fun though, with all the
The
nightmares.
wall
and
is
stuff.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say in every single game where someone has picked the Verdant Wall, every single campaign, they've been like, I will now unleash the nightmares upon this land and does not deserve my protection. And I'm like, whoa, wait.
I feel like most of well, at least maybe not most, but some of these have that sort of apocalypse built right into them. Like the clock tower, you could just be like, I'm gonna let the Kraken come.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like the Shadowed Library probably has some book to summon some eldritch horror that, you shouldn't let loose, but
there's terrible beings and curses contained within the books.
Yeah, right.
I'm not giving you too much terrible power.
No, not at all. Fine. Decisions.
See, my min-maxing brain is like choose the proving grounds and take a duel of magic. Because when I call for a duel of magic, I can't be denied, and I gain a +1d, and I also have a matter of honor. So I truly cannot be denied. I like doubly can't be denied. Yeah. And I get to set the conditions and terms of it too. So the power gamer in me is like, take that. Yeah. But like the world role player in me is like, what about the doors though?
I know, right? Those doors.
I mean, I think the question is like, do you want to be like, duel me? Like, if that is what's fun, then double down on it. But I don't know. The doors do look pretty darn sexy.
I know the doors are sexy though.
So sexy.
I'm looking hard at the fire dragon because I like the idea of because the soul market makes a lot of sense, but I kind of like the idea that like death is a physical place, and also that there's death of things beyond just the humans and the nobles, right? Like there's death of all sorts of shit, and so I think I'm leaning towards the fire dragon. It's pretty. I mean, how can you not want to be on a fire dragon's corpse? That's pretty damn sweet.
It's true. And you also have the ability to have them speak. So you could get this dragon to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. I'm liking that.
Nice. But yeah, Dry Goat in the chat, it's true. I feel like when I gave people the ability to release nightmares upon the world, they just go for it.
Yeah, like, go figure.
No resisting that.
I think I'm going with the Veiled Churches.
Ooh, I really like the vibe of your character, Risha. It's very so deadly and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love everybody's vibes. It's so funny. I've seen all these houses in play, and it's always different each time. I love it so much. Perfect. All right, and so you also get to just take note of your dot that the domain gives you, and then choose one of the vassals too. Ooh, Misha, which vassal are you going to choose for the Veiled Churches?
You know, it's. I think I'm gonna go with. the monster made of dreams.
Oh, yeah.
That's just too cool.
Right. Dahlia, the master of the dragonfire, the princess of Dragonslayer, or Flame, a legion of fire spirits with one consciousness.
I know. It's a hard choice.
Why?
Why are you making me pick?
I want them all.
Ray is an evil genius. They must be stopped.
All right, Dahlia it is. Master of the Dragonfire.
Perfect.
How am I going to say no to that? Not.
Yeah, I remember first seeing the Elden Ring trailers, and I was like, it's like
Yeah.
the Twilight Throne. Like, I'm so confused. I also bought Elden Ring, but I also bought Destiny 2 at the same time, and so I have not played Elden Ring yet. That's on me. Okay, so the next choice is very easy. It just gives you like 2 dots, but this is like your duty to your house, right? So what the house expects of you. So this is when you get to mix and match stuff. Like, does it go along with who you are? Is your family forcing you? This is more Asian stuff. Is your family forcing you to do a duty that you don't really like jive with, or is it something that you embrace entirely? Once again, it's totally fine if you choose the same duty. It's not an issue. And these questions we don't answer now. It's just questions for me to keep in mind as your GM to like bring it into play.
These are evil. I love them.
Oh my god.
I just really wanted to test how powerful could I make a player.
You're just giving us all the
Yeah.
keys to like everything. I'm so into this.
It's pretty damn good.
I just want my nobles to feel like nobles, I just want to.
When we mark down a dot in the action listed for domain, for instance, where do we do that?
Oh, thank you for asking. So you can go
Yes.
to your character sheet, and then it is, let's see, below the curse sigils. Here, I will. How can
I'll pull
I
it up on stream so we can kind of see
thank you,
it.
thank you.
Cool.
So if
Yeah.
you go to
There we
here,
go.
and it's just like put a dot in it, you just check the first checkbox.
Oh, I see. And it tells you what to put the dot in, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
And then if you need like a description of what the action is, you can like hover over and then you'll see it pop up. So these are not as powerful as your house actions, but they're, it's basically split into you being social, so entice, demand, conceal, you being physical, clash, flow, defy, and then you being magic-y, right? Attune, wield, shape, right?
Ooh, I love that our socials we're split. Like Sean's character is demand, mine's entice, and Misha's is conceal.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
All right, I'm into that.
Beautiful.
Yep. Well, I think I'm doubling down on demand because I think I'm going to be the master of secrets. So I'm going to be.
Ooh, nice.
I'm feeling, yeah. Watcher, master of secrets is my duty.
Perfect. Nice. Ooh, so you came from a different house, but they made you the master of secrets. Very interesting. Nice. I love Misha's face.
So many choices.
Yep.
What kind of evil do I want to be?
Right.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder. I'm so excited to play test the Throne of Annihilation because you are actively bringing the houses to ruin. So
Yeah.
yes, Dry Gold. This is Forged in the Dark. I just told took some creative liberties. I will say a lot of the design is inspired by Brinkwood, Blood of Tyrants, and Grow by Moonlight. So Brinkwood has this really interesting character creation process, which this draws upon.
Yeah, I think that the survivor of Ash and Flame, that is me, there were various spells and bindings which allow them to safeguard information in me that could never be pried by my peers. And since our own house didn't trust each other, I have become this sort of like vessel of these secrets that cannot be that my own house cannot pry from me, and they can't imagine that another house would ever get out of me.
Ooh.
So I think that they're sort of bound ritualistically to me. Like I couldn't give them up if I wanted to without breaking some horrible spell that was cast.
Wow, that is so cool.
It's sort of like I feel a little bit like this is like where companies like store their like toxic waste runoff. Like this is like I'm like the dirty secret of the house. And
so good.
Yeah, and there's plenty that they hold over me. Certainly my child, others as well, that prevent me from but in like spells that would actually bind them that prevent me from sharing them. So I'm just gonna say like I know a lot of things, but I can't say them. Whenever it's relevant.
So good. Awesome. All right, and then I will just double check, make sure I'm not rushing us. Okay, from our duty, now you just assign the remaining action dots. You should already have 3, right? So just assign 2 more so that you'll have a total of 5. I will say that the usual resistance rules apply in Forged in the Dark, right? So you will always, I don't know how to describe it, right? Roll the first dots in your column. Like I don't know how to say it in words, right? But
roll 1 die for every action you have at least 1 dot in that attribute.
Oh my gosh, there we go. Sean, this is why you are the saving my butt all the time. But yeah, perfect. And once again, the same thing applies. Like if we play out the character and you're not feeling the dots and stuff, if you want to shift any part of the dots or character creation process, we can totally retcon any of it. So please don't feel pressured. I used to have this like GM who'd be like, once you make this character, you're set in stone. We used to like roll per stat even. Gosh, I'm getting like horrible flashbacks.
I mean, if you frankly don't care about your characters, like if you're playing Dungeon Crawl Classics and you're making like 4 characters and you're expecting maybe one of them will survive, and you just like have random stats and you're like, the duck farmer made it, sweet, like that. Sure, then in that case, just let the roll of the dice determine all of these things. But like, these are not those characters. These are epic heroes and villains, mostly probably villains. Yeah, they should not be Michelle-looks.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am a protagonist of my own story.
Aren't we all?
But yeah, and also like any Forged in the Dark game, even if you don't have a dot in the action, I'm always here to provide bargains. There are different ways you can get extra dice, so no worries. Like, don't feel pressure to be a jack of all trades. But that's true. It'll be good if the Dark Farmer makes it. I saw this TikTok of this guy who just shows how to pick up a duck, and it's really
oh my god,
it's so wholesome. It's so good. Like you have to tell the duck, I'm going to pick you up now. And then there's this magical way you do it from the front where you just like scoop them up like they're ice cream. It's very cute.
Everybody Google duck scooping.
So adorable.
Don't know if I'd ever use this information, but it's good to know.
All right. So we should have a total of 5 dots, right?
I think everybody does, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so the next step is supposed to be ambition, but I'm playtesting something where we do it after, like once you get to feel out the characters. So we're going to skip that for now. And instead, you're going to tell me about your weakness. Okay, so the idea of your weakness is that there's someone who you care for, right? This is someone that you're completely different with, that you open up to, that you act in a different way. And so when you spend an interlude action, or otherwise known as a downtime action, with them, you clear your what is the equivalent of your stress track, basically, right? Because you open yourself up to your weakness. Your weakness can be any one of your vassals. It could be someone from your house, or it could be a new supporting character you make, right? This is basically someone that you care about.
I mean, clearly mine is the Rose Duelist because.
Oh my gosh, it's always the Rose Duelist. I was
It
about
has
to
to be the
I was
Rose
about to say. I was like waiting. I was waiting with bated breath. Like, it's
Yeah.
Come on. She's
The
my
Rose Duelist
bodyguard,
always
she's
gets
hot.
picked, right? And it's always the weakness. It is so.
Yeah. Well, and mine's got to be Sister Midnight because she's the only other one who's from the House of Ash and Flame with me. So,
Ooh, nice.
yeah.
I like that. I like that.
My characters can. I think this. I feel like using pronouns in this way, like, is to convey the multiplicity of the character makes sense. But tell me if this sounds right. I feel like I don't know her name yet, but I feel like when veiled and speaking as herself, she uses she/her pronouns, and when unveiled and speaking as the all-consuming force that devours everything, it's we, because it's just all of us. So
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
that's yeah. I feel like we is sort of meant to be encompassing. So if somebody refers to them, it's we, and it's like you sort of are brought into that. Like, you can't talk about them without talking about yourself as well.
Ooh,
We'll see.
so good. Perfect. Nice. Okay.
All right.
Connie, do you have an idea
Connie,
for
who's your weakness?
I've gotta. I don't know.
Who do you
I'm
want?
really into Astra, because I feel like the whole night, like smooching a night. I don't know. I'm into that.
Yeah.
When in
Exactly.
doubt, switch the night. It makes sense.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
Where do we put our weakness?
So it's up on top. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so
okay.
much, Misha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize for I promise the guy working at the new character keeper, it's going to be much more streamlined.
I mean, right, these sheets are great. Like that.
But yeah. Also, oh no, Dry Gold was talking about funnel cake in the chat, and I haven't.
Ooh, funnel cake.
Less
Getting
funnel,
closer.
more funnel cake. Yeah. Yeah.
I could really go for a funnel cake right now. Granted, it's like
I-
1 o'clock at night. I don't think anybody has a funnel cake.
Yeah, we don't
But I
have
should
funnel
not
cakes
try
here.
it.
Yeah. It's so. I was really sad when I found out what a Twinkie was. I just want to say, because I used to read about it all the time. For some reason, I thought they were star shaped, and then so when I actually saw a Twinkie, I was so sad.
Yeah,
it's a log.
They're not worth the hype.
So sad. Okay, so the second to the last step is you get to tell me what your curse is. So basically, when I offer you a bargain, it can either be like a devil's bargain and Forge to the Dark, right? But here in the Twilight family, we have 2 flavors of bargains. One is a cost bargain, right, related to the house that you chose, and the other one is your curse bargain, right? And so this is what initially drives your tragedy, right? So you can be cursed by rage, greed, hubris, desire, envy, loss, or kindness. Kindness is my favorite curse. So you can read through it. This is basically just like an idea for me, like for example, if someone chose, let's say the loss curse, then I can say like, okay, you'll get this extra die, but the person you're helping, you're going to lose them one day. Like there's no way you're going to be able to hold on to them, right? And because I'm drawing inspiration from your curse, basically.
I again, Ray, I'm so torn. I feel like I don't know. There's so many good ones here, but I feel like loss is the one that like I just.
Oh yeah, just double down on your tragedy because you
Yeah.
lost your house, right?
Yeah,
And
I
you
lost my house.
lost the hope for your child.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Very, very good. Death takes everything.
It does in the end. There's no curse. Where are you, curse? Why do I keep?
How about you, Misha?
I think I'm gonna go with kindness.
Oh my god, I love it!
That's
That is
so
such a
good.
good layer on top of everything you've done so far.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you're in a house full of assassins,
Right?
murderers.
So wrong.
Perfect. How about you, Connie?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I'm just thinking about my character's fatal flaw. It's probably some sort of obsession, and the closest here is hubris. So I'm gonna go with hubris.
Hubris feels very right.
That's a good
Yep,
one.
I can see that.
Nice. Perfect.
Especially if you're going with that whole like heavenly dichotomy, pride.
Yeah, I might as well
Yeah.
lean into it, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Just go all out. All right, so that is your character. The last thing you have to come up with is your name and title, right? So your name is your character name, but the title is what you are referred to. So, like for example, in your house, the titles were like Night Conqueror, the First of Daggers, the Rose Duelist. So if anyone who's not as powerful as you, they have to refer to you by your title. They cannot refer to you by your name, right? Unless they're a little shit, which happens sometimes.
Unless they're breaking the rules.
Right. Then you'll know. But yeah. So I left the hardest one for last. I apologize. But at least you should have a better idea of your character. So you can draw upon like your domain, your duty, right? Like all of these things to create your name and title.
Why was this the easiest decision for me to make? Like, this is the most hardest, but why was this the easiest? Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell.
So good. Connie.
Listen.
My partner is wondering why I'm cackling so much. It's Connie. It's Connie's fault.
Yeah, that's very good.
Aw, consumer. Wow, we are just 3 peas in a pod, aren't we?
We are. We're gonna make a delicious stew here. Again, I need a good death name that I'm looking at.
I'm torn between Lustmaker and the Lust Broker, but the second one might be a little too capitalist. The first one's a little bit more poetic.
I love how we're choosing. So many good ones. Oh man, the chat's really going into funnel cakes and.
Yeah,
I have no outlet. I cannot get funnel cakes here in the Philippines. We had one store that made it like years ago, like 10 years ago, I want to say.
Speaking of ducks and fried things, I really want to make duck confit.
Oh,
but I don't know where to get duck fat from.
In my area, I know where I got duck fat, which was I cooked a lot of duck breasts, and every time I cooked duck breasts, I would put
that's smart. That's smart. Like, that's good.
Oh yeah,
that's good. I gotta do that. Yeah,
that is smart.
So I have a tub of it that I use for fried potatoes, which
Oh, that sounds delicious. Oh my god.
goodness.
Perfect.
French
perfect.
fries with duck fat. Oh my god.
it's
That sounds so good.
so good.
Oh, we're getting off track here.
Yeah.
I have a separate one of
Sorry
bacon
about that.
fat too, so but that's different.
Perfect.
I mean, honey, I don't know how you truck with Instacart. I'm sure there's other.
I do. I use it. I am a hermit because of pandemic times, so I've been exclusively using Instacart.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's a real ugly URL I just put in, but apparently,
Epic
epic
duck fat.
duck fat.
I think Whole Foods might have it too in jars in the fat aisle. I know Wegmans
Okay.
does.
Okay, there might be a Whole Foods and Wegmans near me because I'm in Minneapolis. So
Okay, then
yeah.
Perfect. All right, so basically those are our characters, and then we're gonna jump in and feel them out. We're gonna start off with another thing I should mention is that this game. So most of the time in Forged in the Dark, you try to have both the score and the downtime action in one session.
Mhm.
But instead, like what tends to happen in the Twilight Throne is we have an interlude / downtime session that's just focused on your machinations and all those things, preparation, and then there's the scheme. And so we'll start with the interlude actions as a way of feeling out your characters and what horrible things they're going to come up with before we jump into a scheme where they either destroy a house through a ritual of your own making, or you scavenge one that was just destroyed, right? So it's up to you. Either way, we're going to be terrible people. I'm going to put that out there right now.
Yeah.
We're not okay. I'm only a little terrible people.
Well, what tends to happen? We'll see how it goes here. But what tends to happen is like the player knows that the character is terrible, but the character doesn't believe it. The character knows that they're doing this for the right reasons. So.
I mean, right reasons varies, right?
100%. But yeah, so those are our characters in our houses. Do we have any questions? Anything we want to bring up or talk about before we wrap things up, basically?
No.
Do we need to decide ambitions now?
Yeah, actually, let me just talk about it. But like, I'm trying to play test the idea of like coming up with the ambition after the first interlude action.
That makes sense.
Because a lot of people have like, you want me to come up with my ambition right now, which is the overarching theme of my character. So basically, what happens with your ambition, which breaks down into your agenda, is like, this is the one thing that you want for yourself as a character. It is tied to the throne that we choose to play. So this helps you like guide what it is. So why do you court annihilation? Like your ambition should be, in this case, once again, this is playtesting, related to like, why are you so into the idea of apocalypse in the first place? Right. So if we go to the Throne of Annihilation tab, so why do you court annihilation? There are 3 options just to help guide it. It could be your past demands it, or your future promises it. Create an ambition that will help you make peace with your past, or create a dark and terrible future. Or a relationship, create an ambition related to an NPC. So this could very much, like just off the top of my head, just like how Sean has been mentioning that child, right? It could be related to them. Mm-hmm. Maybe no matter what, you're going to create an ambition that will give them that spark, right? That possibility of life. You're doing all of this to make sure that past the apocalypse, they'll have another chance. Right. Or it could be a lie. Create an ambition that will destroy the truth or strengthen a lie, basically. And then once you have your ambition, so once again, this is just an example. Let's say Sean decides to grant my child the power to hold reincarnation, right? Solely for themselves, right? Then you could break it down into pieces. So the first agenda could be like, break the pillars of reincarnation, and then the second agenda could be like ensure my child is strong enough to handle it, and then the third, so like you have to break down each one into like 3 steps. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so basically what ends up happening is as we do our schemes, there will be an opportunity for you to tell me very dramatically during an agenda flashback, actually this whole time I was working towards my ambition, right? Because we are still humans, but our characters are very smart, cunning nobles, right? So they're capable of doing all the stuff on the side without us knowing how they did it at the time. So Dry Gold, yes, this game is about different things depending on the throne you chose, but the throne we chose is the one about annihilation. So it is about ushering an apocalypse. But for example, the other thrones, the throne of oblivion is about placing an heir on the throne that tends to eat people. Totally fine. The second throne is the throne of devotion, where you go after a cult, right? And then the throne of insurrection is when you create a human rebellion that will hopefully not destroy you in the process, right? So, but we're playing the throne of annihilation, where we encourage the end of things for our own interests. I'm going to be honest, the throne of annihilation is based on, everyone kept saying there should be a curse or throne related to like environmental like catastrophe. And I was like, but rich people don't care about that. They're not going to stop you. Right? So this is what that is.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah. So, but the agenda, the ambitions can be quite a lot. So I wanted us to have a chance to like feel out our characters first before we do those things.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Any other things I can help highlight or point out?
What's your sense of the sort of, if it exists, the sort of like physicality of this world? Do you feel like we are sort of like all people in a singular sort of geographic region? Is it like a like there's the doors, right, like to lead to other places? Like, do you think that we're generally kind of like up in each other's business, or do you think that we're generally like, aha, I will send my messenger to go speak to the house of cog and wheel about this thing, and in 60 days hence I will receive a missive back? That sort of like how kind of like mushed versus disparate do you feel like we generally are? What in terms of like what works best for the flow? Now, obviously we can do anything we want, but I'm just like, what do you feel like works best for like our, I don't know, our agendas and our machinations?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards mushed, right? Just so that it's a bit easier. But actually, like a lot that I like to draw upon usually is like the physics of the endless from the comics, right? So each house has their own domain, right? Well, I already used the term domain, but sort of like their own area, their own dimension, right? Or it could be like a more physical thing. It could be a horrible mix of the two, right? Reality bending and all that. But yeah, I do like the idea of proximity. Yeah, I think maybe to give an idea for what we're going to be doing in future sessions. So, for example, let's take a look at the Clock of Ruin tab. I'm only going to use the House of Sword and Halo as an example. We don't have to.
Oh God!
We don't have to come after the House of Sword and Halo. It's just the first one there. Okay, so the House of Sword and Halo. If we decide to guide the house to annihilation or scavenge it after it's consumed, because after each interlude and scheme, I will roll the dice to see like how much the clock moves forward, right, and to see what houses get destroyed or not. You will have a chance to like push back against that maybe as nobles. There's a special action that you can do, but for example, let's say we choose to guide the House of Sword and Halo into annihilation. That means we have to enact the Ritual of Divinity. So during this game, fulfill at least 3 to enact the ritual. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choices. So at any time during the scheme, which is the equivalent of the score, once again, you have to free the dreams of the dead gods, reveal an unspeakable truth of heaven, compromise a powerful noble from the House of Sword and Halo, gain access to a god remnant and empower, weaken, or destroy it, or casually rewrite the laws of divinity. No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. And then if you do these things, everyone will gain access to an ability, a feast for the angels, or basically you get to have really intense angels show up and like consume things whole. Once again, no big deal. And then you can also choose one inevitability for your epilogue. So this is where things get fun, right? Because when we get to the end of the throne, you get to say, well, I get to have a god remnant that will like help me decide the end of my character, right? Or the perfect dueling weapon. And instead, if we want to scavenge the house, let's say the House of Sword and Halo falls instead, and you want to scavenge it, then it's a slightly different list in order to enact the spell, which is like a dueling weapon once wielded by the gods, or you have to find the heart of an abomination crafted from the flesh of many gods. You have to find the wings of an angel cruelly stolen. So these are like bits and pieces that you have to find in order to create the spell versus the ritual where you have to do like active things, and you get slightly different things. You no longer gain access to an ability. You instead gain an advantage or a vassal. And then the inevitability you get is like pretty badass horrible, which is the return of 100 dead gods into heaven broken. Once again, no big deal, but
Right.
that will be part of our ending. So each house has that, basically, depending on how we want to.
So in any given score, so in any given, sorry, not
scheme.
in any given scheme, we're going to sort of set out to do one of these things. We're going to say like, we want to invoke the Ritual of Divinity, or we want to cast the spell of the dead gods, or the Ritual of Reincarnation, etc. And so then we're gonna, then the item will do things with them, but we're gonna kind of like as players say like, cool, we've decided this is the scheme that we're going after. Is that correct? Is that the play structure?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
And then it's up to you. Like it's just a guideline, right? And so I will supply these things as much as possible. But if you want to tell me what that unspeakable truth is as a player, you can do that too, right? So there's a lot of power given to how we want to interpret any of these things.
Nice.
Is there a place where we can access the epilogue?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think I forgot to write it down. I'm going to share it right now. Let me pull it up on the doc. Yeah. That's a good question. So we can see what we're aiming for. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just gonna share it. I'm gonna do that thing where I make sure I don't have any embarrassing tabs. Before I do that, okay, I think everything.
That's fair.
I don't want anyone to see how many unopened emails.
We're not even gonna talk about those. Fine.
We're not gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna share.
Inbox 0 is a fleeting.
Yeah. Do I share screen? Is that what I'm gonna do?
Yeah. If you click on share, and then screen, and you can say, if you just say a Chrome tab, it will only do the contents of the tab. Like this, so like we won't see all of your other tabs and all that.
No, I'm using like Firefox. The Firefox is not as cool.
Then you can only do a window, or a screen.
Yeah. So
just pull it out into its own window. Just avert a crisis.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna. Ooh, it's doing that weird thing. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna scroll all the way through my stuff. This is like
oh my god, that's a massive document.
It's so
my god,
I had to write out each throne. Okay, where are the endings? Okay, oh, here we go. Okay. So the Twilight ending. The Twilight ending is if we guided more houses to Annihilation. So this is when you actively brought the houses to Annihilation. So the questions you get to answer are things like, who did I love most, and how did tragedy break and mold them into something beautiful? Or who did I hate most, and how did my machinations empower the curse that binds them? Or what aspect of my house survived annihilation, and what new curses did it give birth to? And what aspect of my power survived annihilation, and who did I gift it to? So it's a very active set of questions, versus if we unlock the Ashes ending and we become the Lords of Ashes. It's much more tragic. So who loved me most, and how did their love for me twist them into something unrecognizable? And who hated me most, and how did their hatred for me make them stronger and more beautiful? And what wretched aspect of my house survived annihilation, and what did it corrupt? And what memory of me survived annihilation, and who embodied this memory? This is very Dark Souls, right? This is all out. And then so if instead, and I also get like 1 or 2 questions, you get more questions to answer in these other ones. But with the curse ending, basically if the clock hits ruin before before we wanted it to, then instead it's who took my power and forged it into their twilight throne, who destroyed my legacy and flourished from the ashes. When my curse consumed me, what wretched creature did I become? Centuries from now, who destroyed me and granted me peace? Right. So these are all like pretty intense questions. Yeah. But I will include a copy in the doc, so that we can decide as players what we're aiming to. Sorry, I came back to see everybody's faces being like, "Oh, what the heck?"
There's so much. No, it's exciting. So Ray, when I get the idea of scavenging a house, like we're saying, we don't think this house is going to make it, so forget it. We're going to give up on them. We're just going to pillage their stuff and let them be destroyed or fade away. But the option to guide them to annihilation, is that really like we're trying to help that house meet the fate or the fortune that it intends for itself? Is that generally seen as sort of beneficent to the house, like to help because we all know that we're coming to an end, so you're trying to help them reach the end that they seek? Does that sound right?
Ooh. So it's more like when we scavenge a house. So when I roll for the Clock of Ruin, basically at some ticks, a house is consumed by the curse. Right. And so once that happens, we can no longer guide that house to annihilation. We can only scavenge it. Right. And so it's like we're racing against the clock, technically.
Right.
Kind of idea.
So I'm getting this idea like all like the houses are slowly being consumed, right?
Yeah.
So once it's consumed, like there's nothing left. But when we guide it towards annihilation, does that mean that we're trying to get it? We're accelerating the clock for that house.
Yes.
Like we're like, let's end you now.
Yeah, on your terms, right?
On our terms, right?
Yeah.
So we get
as opposed to murder.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is there is there any possibility to stop or avert annihilation, or is that not possible within the adventure? I'm cool with like the answer can totally be no.
Yeah, we can like slow down the clock, right? A little bit. We can push it back. So basically, as an interlude action, you can face the Clock of Ruin, and then so you can remove ticks from the clock, basically. And depending on how much you sacrifice, it's either 1 tick or 3 ticks, right? And you can keep pushing it back each time. I'm still experimenting with the idea, like if you push it back, does that mean a house is no longer consumed by the curse if it was swallowed up? So this is what the playtest. I love how Misha's like, no, it's
no. I agree. Yeah, once the house is consumed, it's gone.
Right. So basically, you can take an interlude action to like push it back each time, but you will have to sacrifice something in exchange for it. And then when you're ready, then you can just say, Ray, I'm ready for us to like face annihilation. We're gonna let the clock tick all the way through. Once you've taken all the inevitabilities and like taken all that you wanted from each of the houses. So this is really you being like,
you're preparing, like you're decorating your coffin. Yeah. Like we're decorating our sarcophagus.
We're making out our funeral plans.
Yeah, right.
But those little humans get to live. So okay, listen.
Maybe
I'm just gonna say my ambition. I know for the sake of playtesting we need to wait for the interlude, but I already know what my character's ambition is gonna be. I'm totally open to having it being shaped by the interlude, but doors, what I've written down, what I have in my brain is they want to cultivate a door that will lead to a reality where annihilation has been averted completely. And whether or not this is completely impossible, you know, like even if it's impossible, I feel like they would pour everything into this. So even if annihilation ends up coming, like I feel like my character would like pursue this. But,
Well, and I think I want something similar, which is for my child to be reborn as humans so that they can both be my child and also survive the annihilation. Like, I don't know what that means, but it's sort of a Pinocchio kind of story, but it's also Like, I think I'm gonna have to steal everybody else's life force to do it. Like, sorry, I gotta totally destroy your house to try and steal that power from my child.
Save like one person.
Yeah, well, it's the one I care
Yeah.
about, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's totally worth. They were all gonna die anyway.
Exactly. If you're all going to die anyway, why not just die a little earlier so that we can have the hope of something good coming out of it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
But I was supposed to be the evil one.
I mean, I
Oh my
feel
God.
like
Listen, your curse is kindness. I feel like you're all like on the surface, you're like, I'm an evil assassin. And then like you'll see like an adorable puppy like, wagging his tail.
Yeah.
You're telling my secrets.
Perfect. Yeah. But I appreciate all these questions. This is like, yeah. Perfect. This is the only Throne I haven't been able to play test yet. So there's a lot of kinks, quite truly. So yeah.
Well,
my
we'll
lust
look,
maker can
we'll look for
broker
the
some kinks for you.
Exactly. I was gonna say.
I'm glad we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I was like, I think we're here for the kinks. Hey, all nerds here. Thanks for joining us. We're just about to wrap up, but we have been creating characters and a house and a throne for the Twilight Throne. We're gonna lead everyone to Annihilation. Like, that's just gonna happen, and maybe we'll have the annihilation of our choices, or maybe we'll be really, really sad about this annihilation.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Should we wrap up? Have we done all the things that we need to do?
Yeah, totally. And I also want to say I'll be available for like questions in between sessions.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
Awesome. So. Well, we'll do the outros in the same way. So I'm Sean. I use he him pronouns. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner. The thing that I am shilling right now is Improv for Gamers 2nd edition. It is in crowdfunding preview right now, which means you can go and click to follow. And if you follow now, then you'll get a free gift if you back, which is sort of the Game Found shtick. I don't know if that's gimmicky or if that's cool. We will find out. But we're trying out a new crowdfunding platform, so love all the support we could get over there as we check it out. I'll put a link as soon as I can get it. But that's my thing. How about you, Connie?
Yeah, hey everyone. I've been Connie, pronounced they, he, and she. I am so excited to play Kavar the Lust Maker. She is so hot. Like my brain is melting inside my skull with how hot she is. I'm excited because she's gonna be selling pleasure, and she's also gonna be secretly trying to stop the apocalypse or find a reality where it doesn't happen. We'll see how futile that is and how tragic it becomes. So when I'm not here on actual play, I am the GM and creative producer for Transplanar RPG, which is an all-transgender BIMPOC-led D&D show set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist world called Andake. It's a grim, dark, gritty fantasy with a lot of queer angst and romance. I kind of describe it as like a lot more of a diverse L word meets like the literal end of the world. So if you like stuff that's happening here, because I feel like Ray, I'm always like, yes to everything Ray does, because I love the aesthetics and the themes and tones you use in your game. That's in Transplanar a lot, but there's a lot of kissing and a lot of backstabbing and broken hearts. So if that's your jam, serious dramatic roleplay with cinematic combat, tune in Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern at Transplanar RPG. Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Itch, and Ko-Fi at By Connie Chung. That's BYCONNIECHANG. I'm currently also making a game called God Killer RPG, which also has similar themes to what's happening here. So check that out at God Killer RPG on Twitter. It is a holy punk TTRPG for one player, the God Killer, and one GM, God. More information about that will come out on my birthday, which is the 28th of March in 5 days. Yay. And with that long spiel out of the way, I'm going to pass things down to Misha.
Hi, Misha B. You can find me on Twitter at BGGameworks or at my website, blackarrowgameworks.com. I'm currently between projects at the moment. Other than, of course, the bi-weekly newsletter. Well, actually, currently it is a tri-weekly newsletter because one of our curators is out on maternity leave. More Seats at the Table. You can find that on Twitter as More Seats RPG. We produce a newsletter that helps you find games by people from marginalized genders. And like I said, it comes out every right now, every 3 weeks for the next few months. Yeah, you can sign up for that, and that'll be cool. Ray, how about you?
Awesome. I want to say, like, More Seats at the Table is super good. I really appreciate, because it's so hard to find good stuff. So I really appreciate the work that goes into it. But yeah,
actually, if you're on the More Seats RPG page and you have stuff you want to push, there are some links pinned so that you can like send us your info so that we can put that in the newsletter. So that would be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. And then so for me, hi, I'm Ray. I use they, he pronouns. I'm the one who created this tragic over-the-top game called The Twilight Throne and the Houses of Ruin. I've been working on this for the past year. It's had more than 50 playtest sessions so far. This was my 53rd, I guess. So, man, playtesting Forge in the Dark is hard. Okay, so
it means a lot.
We had fun though, so that's the important part. Yeah, I'm currently working on other games like Apocalypse Keys, which is going into really exciting places. I get an exciting email about it every few days from Sean. So, yeah, so Apocalypse Keys is a game of monsters, this time holding back the apocalypse. The goal is to hold back the apocalypse in Apocalypse Keys. It's a mystery, and I almost called it Apocalypse Kisses because it can get very emotional. And I'm also working on other things like Cozy Town, Once More Into the Void, but like buy-in, so lots of stuff. Best way to keep up is through Twitter at Temporal Hiccup. You can also support me on Patreon, patreon.com/SwordQueenGames. I will say, as a sign of me overworking a little bit as a Capricorn, I set up the pre-orders for the Twilight Throne while we were creating characters, so I'm going to drop
Oh my god, Ray!
I feel that in my bones, Ray.
Multitasker. Oh yes.
This is why Shine.
It's so hard to just do one thing when you could be doing 10 things.
Yeah. But the Twilight Throne is now live. I also want to point out that it has really this amazing cover like art from Adrienne Valdez. They just do amazing work. These are actually like 2 PCs and an NPC from our Throne of Insurrection game, so that was really fun. But yeah, okay, so you can pre-order the Twilight Throne. The beta version should be out in a month or so. I'm just laying stuff out. That's really all that's because the text is like mostly complete at this point for the beta version. But yeah, that's basically me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. We will be back at the very least next week with more Blades in the Dark with Ray and Kristen and myself. And this show will be back in 2 weeks. And I think Bounty of the Week, folks, you're wrapped up. Is that right, Misha?
No, do we have one more session tomorrow?
Awesome.
And then we're going to switch to Hut Cartel.
Nice. So tune in tomorrow for the finale of Bounty of the Week, and then keep coming back for Hut Cartel, which is, looks super awesome. I'm very excited about both those shows. So, all right, tons of good stuff here. We'll see you all later. Take care.
Bye.
All right, we're now still hot mic'd.
Yeah, no worries. We can just look at the super hot people.
They are super hot.
Yeah.
Like the superimposed like mask thing. That's a very cool.
Oh yeah, that's an actual item from the game, the Mask of Kareem.